Speed. It's the most primal test in sports. No equipment, no tricks, just raw human power. From ancient Greece to modern Olympic stadiums, people have always asked the same question. Who is the fastest human alive? And today, we're not just answering that. We're ranking the top 10 fastest sprinters of all time. These aren't just athletes. They're legends who trained until their muscles screamed, who turned milliseconds into history, who made the impossible look easy. And trust me, the number one spot is obvious, but the stories behind the others will blow your mind. Let's get into it. Before we dive in, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button if you love epic sports stories, legendary athletes, and the mindset that turns ordinary people into world-class champions. All right, enough talking. Lace up those spikes. Take your marks. Because we're going to sprint through history. Countdown. The fastest sprinters. Num 10. Richard Thompson, 982 South. At number 10, we've got Richard Torpedo Thompson from Trinidad and Tobago with a time from 9.82 seconds. Now, Thompson might not be as famous as Bolt or Gatlin, but in the 2008 Beijing Olympics, he shocked the world. He ran so fast in the final that people thought, wait, who is this guy? He ended up with silver behind Bolt's earth-shattering world record run. What made Thompson unique? His starts? The man had launched power. You know when you shake a soda can and pop it open? That explosion? That was Richard Thompson every time he left the blocks. And beyond the track, he became a national hero. For Trinidad and Tobago, his medals put their tiny island on the sprinting map. Proof that greatness doesn't care where you re from. Only how hard you willing to grind. Next up, our number 9, Nesta Carter, with a time from 9.78 seconds. He wasn't the showman, he wasn't the star, but he was the guy you could trust when everything was on the line. Carter specialized in relay. Imagine this. You're leading off Jamaica's 4x100 meters team, which includes Usain Bolt. The whole world is watching. Your job, deliver that baton clean and fast. No mistakes, no nerves, just perfection. And Carter did it. Over and over. With a personal best of 9.78 seconds, he wasn't just a relay guy. He was one of the fastest men in history. Think of him like that one band member who doesn't get the spotlight, but without him, the concert falls apart. Number 8 takes us back to the late 90s. Maurice Green. If sprinting had an action hero, it was this guy. In 1999, Green broke the world record with 9.79 seconds, and for a while, he was untouchable. His starts were explosive, his finishes were clean, and his celebrations, legendary. There's this story. After one race, Green actually tore his own shoe off, kissed it, and held it up to the crowd. Who does that? Only someone with insane confidence. But Green wasn't all about showboating. Behind the scenes, he trained with brutal intensity. We're talking sprints until you puke, weight sessions until your legs feel like cement. That's the hidden side of greatness. It looks easy on TV, but it's built on sweat and pain. Number 7, Steve Mullings. His story is more complicated. Mullings ran an incredible 9.80 seconds back in 2011, but his career was cut short by doping bans. And here's the thing. In sprinting, 1/100th of a second is everything. The temptation to cheat the system has always been there. Mullings got caught, and his career ended early. But purely in terms of raw speed, he deserves a spot on this list. His 9.80 is still one of the fastest runs in history. This entry is a reminder. Talent alone isn't enough. Discipline, integrity, and the ability to play the long game. That S, what separates legends from wasted potential. Halfway down the list, and we hit Christian Coleman. If sprinting was only 30 meters long, Coleman would be undefeated forever. He's known as the fastest starter in history. His reaction times, his acceleration, insane. It's like watching someone get shot out of a cannon. In 2019, he won the World Championship with a personal best of 9.76 seconds, proving he wasn't just a starter. He could finish the job. What's fascinating about Coleman is his training. He focuses heavily on explosive power, squats, plyometrics, sprints with resistance. Basically, he trains to own the first 3 seconds of the race. And in sprinting, that can be everything. Number 5 is Justin Gatlin, and his career is one of the most fascinating in track history. With a personal best of 9.74 seconds, Gatlin's career lasted nearly 2 decades. That's unheard of in sprinting. Most sprinters peak for maybe 4 to 6 years. But Gatlin, he was still running sub-10s well into his 30s. Imagine going up against Usain Bolt in his prime, at age 30, and still managing to beat him once. Yeah, Gatlin did that in 2017. Of course, his career is also controversial because of doping suspensions. But whether you love him or hate him, his resilience was remarkable. The guy simply refused to quit. Number 4 is Asafa Powell, the gentle giant. Powell set a world record of 9.72 seconds and was famous for how effortless he looked. Seriously, while others looked like they were about to explode, Powell ran like he was taking a casual jog. He never won an Olympic gold, but ask any sprinter. They'll tell you, Powell was the guy to beat in the mid-2000s. He ran over 100 Subsapula second races, a consistency record that still stands. That's the difference. Greatness isn't just one world record. It's doing it again and again until everyone fears lining up next to you. Number 3's Yohan the Beast Blake, and the nickname Perfect. Training with Bolt every day turned Blake into a monster. He ran 9.69 seconds, tying with Tyson Gay for second fastest ever at the time. In 2011, when Bolt false started at the World Championships, Blake stepped up and won gold. That's mental toughness! Imagine being the shadow of the greatest sprinter ever, while still in your early 20s. His career was hit by injuries, but when he was healthy, Blake was terrifying. Number 2, Tyson Gay, America's sprinting legend. He tied with Blake at 9.69 seconds, but what made him stand out was his consistency. In 2009, at the Berlin World Championships, he ran that 9.69 despite battling hip injuries. That kind of grit? Unbelievable. Unfortunately, his career was bittersweet. He never won Olympic gold, but he remains one of the fastest humans ever, and one of the most respected. And finally, number 1, the man, the myth, the lightning bolt himself, Usain Bolt. With a mind-blowing 9.58 seconds, set in Berlin 2009, Bolt didn't just win. He destroyed the field. No one has ever come close. At 6'5", Bolt was built differently. His stride was almost alien. While others took 45 strides, Bolt took 41. That means fewer steps, more efficiency, more speed. But it wasn't just his physical gifts. Bolt brought joy, charisma, and showmanship. He made sprinting must-watch TV. He wasn't just the fastest man alive. He was the most entertaining. And even today, over a decade later, his record stands untouched. Bolt isn't just number 1. He's sprinting itself. So there it is. The 10 fastest sprinters of all time. From Thompson's explosive starts to Bolt's legendary stride, each of these athletes proved one thing. Greatness is measured in seconds, or even fractions of them. Who's your favorite sprinter of all time? And do you think anyone will ever break Bolt's 9.58 world record? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you loved this countdown, smash that like button. Subscribe for more epic sports stories. And remember, greatness starts with the first step.